Hey there, welcome to the Daring to Differ podcast, a place where we embrace our uniqueness, we embrace who we are, and we allow ourselves to think differently. We allow ourselves to just be who we are and know that it's okay to be different. It's okay to do things the way that we deem best to us, or to have different thoughts without us necessarily wanting to meet people's expectations about us, but rather just us showing up fully as we are created by the Lord. So, first things first, I just want to say Happy New Year to you. I hope you rested well and you enjoyed your holiday season with your beloved ones or your family members. So, welcome. Welcome to the pod. I'm so happy to be having this conversation with you guys. With every new year, right? For some people, it's a year where you feel that you are pressured, or it's a season where you feel a lot of pressure because we are all hyping up on in terms of the goals that we're going to set. We are all in the mood of setting challenges that we're going to execute throughout the year, and this can be daunting to some of us and can be overwhelming to some of us. So for me, a new year really just means it's a fresh start. It's not necessarily a time for us to feel pressure or pressured, but rather it's a time for us to just be and take in these new nuances that comes with the year. It's a time for us to know that this is fresh beginnings or beginning, and whatever we had planned last year, if things did not work according to our plans, then it just means a new year means it's another opportunity for us to try again. It's another opportunity for me and you to go back and reflect and see how we are going to do things differently. And it's not necessarily a time for us to be so hard on ourselves in terms of setting all these massive goals, but rather it's just a time for us to slow down and reflect and see what is that we can still, try again. And apart from it being a fresh start, I think for me also then see it as a chance or as an opportunity that God has granted to me and you to live again and to pursue the purpose that He had given to us, to pursue the things that He said we should do because He see it deem for all. He see it deem for us to do, or he sees that we have the potential and the capacity to execute this what he wants us to do. So I see the new year in that lens or in that context, just another opportunity or another chance that is given to us. And who are we not to appreciate this opportunity? When you look back and notice that some people could not make it to the new year, they had not received a fresh start, just like me and you, because their time had come to an end, meaning God did take them away. They have died, right? So who are we not to appreciate this second chance that is awarded to us, given that, as we all know, life is finite. There is a start and an end date to it, meaning the start time is for when we were born, right? And the end time is for when we leave Earth. So we want to live a focused life because this is not a life that we're going to be living forever, So I want us to just enter this new year knowing that this is just another opportunity given to us by the Lord. So perhaps we should rather utilize it to our best ability, and it should be aligned to the purpose that God has given to us, And purpose then becomes, it is a buzzword. A lot of us, we still struggle. What is then our purpose, And sometimes finding purpose really would require of you to just stay in silence and hear the word of the Lord. It would require you to just be in a different environment and hear the word of the Lord in terms of what is He directing you to, and what is that voice that you have heard be it at the back of your mind in terms of the things that you want to be doing, or the things that you want to be focusing, that that pressing thing that you have at the bottom of your heart that is pushing you to be doing, and perhaps you've been putting it at the back seat of the car. But maybe this year, then let it be an opportunity for you to bring it back from the back seat and put it in front of you, in front of you, in terms of you being in charge. And you might just be driven to that purpose. And this then ties in with what I did over the holiday. So I went home. I was visiting mom, right? So, and I took two books. And for those that know, I'm an avid reader. I love reading because it's through reading that I've become the person that I am today. So I took two books on this holiday. And before I even talk about the books, let me just talk about the environment that I was in. And this is what I love about being in holidays, right? So I went home at the village, of course, and it was such a very peaceful place to be. The village in this context, I'm referring to northern Namibia. So we live in a country that is that is beautiful. So there's no pressure, the pressure that I feel when I'm in the city. There was no pressure of waking up and attending to 100 things, but I was in an environment that was just quiet. I was with my family in an environment that just had so much love. An environment where we could all feel that we care for each other. We are each other's keepers, with my mom, with my sister, the kids, and there was just so much love. And I think if there's anything that we all need or that we all deserve, no matter where we find ourselves in, no matter what our circumstances is, if there's something that we all deserve, is the pure love that comes with family. Is that love that it's like you go home and water is poured into your soul, and you leave home feeling rejuvenated. I wish everyone could feel that type of love, because I feel that love for me is very important, and that's the environment that I was in. And every day waking up just felt like it's another reason why I should be alive, to continue getting or receiving this love, or immersing myself in this love, because I feel like I can only show up in life for when I am cared for and I'm also caring for others, and when I'm able to pour out also the same love that I've received, or that I continuously receive in my life to also others, for others to also experience it. So that's the environment that I was in, apart from the delicious food that we're cooking, and apart from the kids being just themselves, having my baby just stay in her diaper, and Taylor just running around. There's ample space to run, to play, then there's chickens, then she'll be there feeding chickens with her grandma. It's just a beautiful place to be, and our food that we're preparing, it depended on how we're feeling that day, right? Some days we cooked really like good, delicious food, but some days we're just like, can't we just make pap and milk, So it was really just a happy place to be. And so that was home in a nutshell. Mommy telling us that on the Mukhoruna Nanje, it's so rare to get words like that from our people, from our community. But from my mom, it comes so easy. Like, it's such an easy thing to do. And sometimes when we show up in life feeling fulfilled, it's just because of these little things that we get from home, we understand. So Yeah, that was my holiday basically, and having enough time to just reflect, so I was reading then the two books which I took home. One being The Artist Way. This is a book which I bought the year before last year. I read it, but I just felt like I could not understand. That's the thing with books. You read different books there, but sometimes when it's not the right time for you to understand, my dear, you'll be paging and paging. You can finish the book, but still the delivery will not be delivered as expected, or it will not be as clear as it's supposed to be because of maybe the season where I was in. This Artist Way book for me, it was just like, it's just another book, because it's a practical book that has a 12-week course, right, where you need to attend to the activities that are given to you. But I think the only thing that I did then was just doing the morning pages. I'm saying morning pages, but I usually just call it journaling, right? Because this is something that I've been doing over the years. So I decided, let me just reread this book again and see what I'll get. And that's what I've been doing with most of my books. I'm looking into this direction because that's where my bookshelf is. So most of the books in 2025, I had to reread them, right? I don't think I bought books last year. Most of the books, I just reread them so that I understand better. And also, aging comes with more wisdom. Books that I read when I was in my 20s and I'm rereading now in my 30s, the message is being delivered in a different approach, or at least I have now more capacity to understand the teachings that I'm getting from these books. So let me just. Yeah, so I reread this Artist Way book by Julia Cameron. And there's something that she talks about, two activities actually that I want to share with you guys. That if there's something that you need to take away from this episode, maybe it's this, right? Because, my friend, when you read books, especially books that have to do with self development, it's not necessarily about the number of books you've read, but it's more on your ability to apply the teachings or the lessons that you're getting from these books. So this book speaks about two activities that are very important in your life and in my life. And one is what Julia calls morning pages. So with morning pages, basically you start off your morning and you just write. You write 3 pages, A4 pages, where you just write whatever is coming to your mind. The reason is for you to empty your mind, to dump basically whatever thoughts you have into these pages. And with time, you will then be driven to who you are, right? You'll be driven to who you are. And with time, you realize that actually you are also an artist. We are all born artists. And a lot of us, or at least with me, if you would ask me the same question in terms of who is an artist, I would want to just point the finger to people who sing, to people who paint, to people who, model, to people who do anything that is art related. I didn't know that actually we are all born artists. It's only that most of us have not gotten an opportunity to understand or to get to that point where we know that we are also artists. We have the ability to create stuff, right? We have the ability to create whatever we desire in our own areas. Some would deliver in terms of singing, which is music. Some would deliver in terms of writing books, being authors. But most of us, we don't know. And our morning pages will just help you to identify that artist in you, because just like the way how we're brought on earth was through an art approach. God created us, and by virtue, because we were created, we also have then the creation ability in us, and we create through as bringing art to life in whatever context that God has gifted us in. You understand? So yeah, I've been then doing morning pages, and I just didn't know that they are called morning pages because I've been journaling for years, right? And I think I had an epiphany. Yeah, I don't know. The word is gone, but I just discovered that, and it was recent, that I have gifts that I actually have been uh, packing. I've kept them in the parking lot for long, and these gifts are things that I just packed since I moved to the city. And for the longest, for when I've been in the city, my life was more aligned to career stuff, which is not a bad thing. To pushing to becoming to becoming somebody. But I have other passions in me. And some of them is just things like me having a conversation with you, me having empowering conversations. And I just didn't know how to bring them to life. And at least with journaling, and in this case, Julia calls them morning pages, I've been able to go back to that art of me having these conversations with you guys. And I'm just excited in terms of what this is going to be 2 or 5 years from now. And also just writing down in those morning pages also gave me then an opportunity also just to appreciate life, to appreciate my family, to appreciate my husband, to appreciate my children, to appreciate my siblings, and just to appreciate being anarchy in the context of as a human being, as a citizen, as just a girl, you understand? So, and just having conversations that I've not had with anybody, putting down my fears and emptying my thoughts. So that's what I've been doing. I've been also then ending my morning pages with the limits that I have in my mind in terms of what are my limitations, what are my fears, what are my weaknesses. And with every fear or with every weakness that I've put down, I would then put it in a positive way and make it as something that actually I'm not this person that I think I am. I am not this limitation that I think I have. So I've been able to put all that, and I'm just happy that I'll be continuously doing it. But although it sounds like it's something beautiful, there are also days where you just feel like, oh, today I'm just not in the mood of journaling, of writing down my thoughts. But the moment you put that pen on the page of that day. You might start with, "Dear Lord, thank you for this," thank you, da, 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 and then after 4 sentences, you're just like, "I'm done." But the more you continue, the more your brain then comes back again, and then you start enjoying it more. It's like you get now in the mood, and that is the artist in you coming out, and then thoughts just start flowing and flowing and flowing. So that is the gift I've been giving myself, and that's also maybe something you need to do. If in case maybe you are struggling with finding your purpose, sometimes it's just the solitude that you need, for you to be directed to that voice by God. So wherever you find yourself, if maybe you find you seem to be lost, just try it. Just try it. Just try it. You have nothing to lose. So that was one of the activities that I learned from the Artist Way book. And then the other one, this is not really, really, really beautiful or interesting. It's what she calls artist dates. So you are literally taking yourself on a date, and this is something you need to do every week. Ne? Once a week, you do it for 2 hours. With morning pages, you do it daily. It's non-negotiable. You have to do it. Ne? So with artist date, I took myself on a date I love the kids at home with my family. So grateful I have this family in my life because they just make really life easy for me. We work together as a team. We love each other, and I guess that's what keeps me going. So with Artist Date, I then drove away, and you are not required to be. It's not like a productivity session where you're gonna take your laptop and then you're gonna be working, da 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 da. But it's or reading a book. No, no, no. It's just to allow you to be in a different place, to recognize different be it images, see different people, and just be in that presence. And with time, then your your brain will be stimulated with whatever is in that surrounding, and you'll be able to code it right. And tomorrow when you're going to do your morning pages, it will come back, and some of whatever you are seeing during your artist date would then inspire your art. You understand? It will inspire your art in terms of if you are if you are a singer, you'll be able to write down some lyrics in your morning pages, and then maybe with time you compose an album or whatsoever. If you are a podcaster, whatever you are seeing there, then it will give you ideas maybe for your next topic, whatever. But basically it's just to be in a place where it's just you and your thoughts, and you're observing. So that's what I did last week. I did it on Monday, and it was such a beautiful place. So this is how I started. I drove, and I went to a suburb called Ludwigsdorf, right? So usually with Ludwigsdorf, it's just a place where I would just use either the core street, which I'll drive through if I'm going to a certain place. If I'm, let's say, going to Kleinventuk. But it's not really a suburb where I would usually just go to. So I decided I'm going to drive to Ludwigsdorf, but it's not necessarily that Ludwigsdorf is my destination, or that's where my date is going to be with myself. But I was rather going to Stellenbosch. But I decided to just, Stellenbosch restaurant, sorry. But I decided, let me just go through Ludwigsdorf, right? So I kept driving. I was captivated by the landscape, beautiful houses. And this landscape has a lot of hills and valleys. So I kept driving and driving, and I approached a hill. So this hill, I'm used to driving on hills, right? So I kept driving and driving, and I realized that this hill is not ending. It just kept going up and up and up. So when I was now really far, I noticed that actually it's just not a normal hill. I'm driving up the mountain. Then I just started panicking. Mind you, I'm driving a bakkie, and it's a manual car. So I started panicking, but I'm like, Ananya, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Because for one, I couldn't take that chance of stopping, because if I stop, then it means I need to start from scratch, and I might struggle because this is just not a normal hill. It's like a mountain. And I don't know why this fear came in me suddenly. I don't know, is it because I'm driving the bakkie? Because I know for sure if it was just a normal sedan, a normal small car, I don't think I was going to be scared. But anyway, so I drove up the mountain. Luckily, I didn't stop, and I managed, and I got to the top of that mountain, and I'm looking at the beautiful houses, just the beauty of Windhoek that I don't see usually, because I don't take myself to unusual places. I'm used to just doing the familiar. So that was breathtaking. So I was there, and it's just quiet. It's really just quiet. And I'm seeing how people are living comfortably, and admiring that life. And also just admiring that at least I have the resources. The fact that we have a car to drive there and just, see this beauty. Not everybody gets that privilege, Having lived in Windhoek, very early when I came to the city, what I was seeing was completely different to what I was seeing that day, having lived in the informal settlement and just this whole struggle life. So I appreciated that moment. And as I was driving down, I was now seeing, I decided to just, call my girls. And luckily, Magano answered the call, and I was telling her, like, girl, I almost wet my pants because I was so scared of the landscape where I was driving. But so that was the beauty in this day, just the drive through and not necessarily me having reached the destination. So then I drove to this nice restaurant, which is now in Kleinventuk areas, Kleinventuk, Stellenbosch. So I was there, and just me alone. I was sitting, just observing. My phone is in the bag. I'm just observing. There's the beauty in just being. I think it's something that we don't talk about. I'm looking at people having beautiful conversations. I could tell because they are laughing. I'm seeing couples looking at, having conversations and looking them like directly into their eyes. That was just beautiful. I'm seeing families, and I could also then hear different languages. People speaking Spanish. That was that I could pick. I could hear people speak German because I know German. I understand German. Not that I was taught, just because I'm a curious learner. I I learned German in a creative way. I'll tell you one day on the pod. I was hearing people speak Afrikaans, and I was served by a very, very, very nice waitress. She's so kind, and as we're engaging, I could tell that she's South African. I wanted to ask, or just to confirm if what I was thinking was right, but I didn't get that opportunity. But I could tell that she's South African, and I was just like, thank you. Why am I able to see this difference? I'm able to see this difference simply because of the time I've spent with people from South Africa. And it's not because I've been with them physically, but it's because I've intentionally made time to listen to their podcasts, to watch their YouTube channels. And through just watching this digitally, it has drawn me closer to them. It has drawn me closer to their culture. It has drawn me so much that I'm able even to just pick it up in their accent when they are speaking, or in their physical features, how they are created by God. So because of all those small things that I've done in silence, or alone, I'm able to connect to more people, So I was at that date alone, and then there was also another waitress who came to serve, to pick up the what do you call this? The utensils after I was done eating. And I was looking at her. I'm like, this girl, somehow there's just some resemblance, man. I'm like, your features, it's like you could be my relative. I even told her, and she was just laughing. She's like, I was also looking at you, and then I'm like, what's your name? Then she says she told me her name. I also told her my name. But we're just in a happy mode. We're just being people, So that's what I noticed. There was also an artist. I don't know the right word, but for those that have been at that restaurant, just at the entrance, there's a guy who sits there with a big machine, and he's just weaving and weaving. I got a chance to talk to him, and I was like, what are you weaving? What are you putting together? What is this that you're creating? And he told me that he was making a carpet, and it costs 5,000. I wanted to ask him more questions, but I could see that he was in his element. He was having fun, and he was so focused. So that's a beauty, So I sat there for 2 hours, almost to 3 hours, and just taking in the beauty of life, taking in that we are just one as human beings. We are different, yet we are just one, seeing people from Spain, because those were tourists, and just being, that was just beautiful. And I was just inspired. I was just really just inspired. Not necessarily because of the suburb where I was, but just inspired to live and see that there's more to life, So that was the artist date. So, and then after 3 hours, then I drove back. Then I came back to my family, and put on my mom cap, right? And yeah, that was it. And I felt like I was just being nurtured. It's like water was being poured into my soul, and just being. And I want to continue having these artist dates, because I just feel like they will open up more thoughts in my life. They'll expose me to different places, and with different places, maybe I will meet new people. I don't know, but I just want to be in a place where I am having an opportunity to just um, explore new things, have different conversations, have different thoughts. Because, as I said at the start, life is finite. By the time my period, which is my life, right? By the time it comes to an end, I want to have lived a life that is beautiful. We have gotten most out of it. I just don't want to live a basic life, because God did not create basic people. God did not create for us to just be on earth and just, um, not utilize our full potential in whatever capacity that potential look like. So that was beautiful. So I'll continue having these artist dates. If you're interested in knowing what is transpiring, or how to go about it, we can do these challenges together, and just be. So let me know in the comment section, what is that you're going to be doing for yourself, for your soul, for you to discover your purpose. Because purpose is found in different settings, and sometimes you just need to give yourself that opportunity to be curious. And I think this also then ties into the theme. My theme for this year, or my word for this year, is I want to have a mindset of a scientist who is curious, a scientist who is willing to unlearn, a scientist who is willing to move away from beliefs which don't serve me, and a scientist who is willing to question things, even my own beliefs. So that's how I want to enter the year. But I can only be a scientist, or think like a scientist, if I make time for myself and do those morning pages. Let me do these morning pages with you wherever you find yourself, and let's reflect, be it on a quarterly basis, be it on a monthly basis, because with every new something, be it a new year, that is a fresh start for you. With each new month, it's a fresh start for you. With each new day, it's a fresh start for you and for me. So those are the landmarks that you need to mark in your brain, so that even if things were not beautiful yesterday, you are able to still start over. So yeah, that has been my week. That has been things I've been doing in the new year, and I want to continue doing it. Some of these teachings, as I said, it's things I just learned from books, my friend. And knowledge is available, but then it will only be meaningful if you and me really take it and apply it in our lives. I'm just happy you've listened until the end of this episode. This is Daring to Differ. Whatever concerns you have in your life, know that you are in charge. You can change things through how you think, and you are allowed to be different. You are allowed to just be who you are. This is Daring to Differ, and I am your host, Anaki. I'll see you in the next episode. May